Hello there everyone, it's Ultimate17 here. Let me first, like usual, I do not in this picture, not a video. Alright, okay. So, here's the thing. I tried to make this video earlier before I went to work, and it did not work out so well. It did not save. Hopefully, it will save. Because after this video, I'm gonna make the Sub-Zero Naruto, only reincarnation. Naruto was the reincarnation of Sub-Zero, and that's gonna be the My Hero Academia Scorpion, with Deku's, what was Deku, with Scorpion. So that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the Sub-Zero of that world. So please understand that. And I may be thinking of doing maybe a few more new what ifs. It depends. I may even then after that I'll go to make some old ones again, like the with Deku got cremation, and the Blade one, and go back to the Fire Dragon Slayer one, and redo. Go to the Sonic Fleetway one. I mean Deku Fleetway one. So yeah, I just I want to do a One Piece, maybe Naruto or Deku. Leave down in the comments what devil fruit he should, either one of those characters get, because I may even do two, because I don't want to do the gum fruit. I will only do, like, the ones that I know. I mean, I'm really interested in doing, like, a Karakuru. Someone did mention it, I just don't know if it was, like, a Deku or Naruto. If it's, like Naruto had the, Katakuri, the guy that Luffy, I always say Luffy fought, who can use mochi. He can turn himself into a donut. He sees the future, and that's when we saw Luffy use Snake Man, Gear 4. Even Law's ability, but I would be pretty interested in that, in either one, Naruto or Deku one. Just leave that in the comments, and I'll choose which one. Alright. Another one will probably be another part of my childhood. I was around in the 2000s, so I watched a lot of Power Rangers. And I'm thinking of doing the Lost Galaxy Power Ranger Magna Defender, basically. And I'm thinking of it, but I want to hear your guys' opinions. That would be Deku one. I kind of already thought about it too, so yeah. But anyways, the few other ones are going to be a secret. Alright? Okay, so let's just get into this what if. Alright, this is what if Deku had, I did not look at the title, but I know it has to do with alucard powers and world demons magic. So yeah, part 2. Alright, so Nezu would say, now, let's not have a, fights. You, currently are, overpowering everyone here in a matter of instance. And I don't think a fight would bring out the best in everyone without them training at least. And, I did forget to mention, I'm not doing the whole entire way I was making Deku in the first one. Or maybe not all the time. He goes, you're alright, Nezu. I understand. Alright. My apologies, everyone. As, well, Nezu does like say, whew. He thinks, I don't want to have body bags of students. And Bakugo just said to himself, I may be battle hungry, but I'm not stupid enough to go after somebody who was able to destroy 0-pointers very easily. Wait, hold on. Fire. Alright, I'm back going. Sorry about that. So, yeah. But anyways, Deku goes over to Victoria, and he basically does, get the hat and the glasses on. He does this thank you to her, and she says no problem. But then he does ask her, he goes, I only know your last name, right? She goes, yes. He goes, well then, I think it's impolite that I only know that. So would you like to tell me your first name? She goes, Ceres Victoria. And he kind of smiles at this, which kind of, surprise her a little. And then he says, that's a beautiful name, Ceres. And he just walks away. Her face is red. And, Uraraka, how she had a crush on Deku. Let's just say she still had it. And, well, boom. Instantly getting jealous. And so, Izuku basically is walking away. And Nezu says, wait, Izuku. We have the sports festival coming up. I'm gonna announce it to the school and to the news that it's coming up this, Friday. He goes, alright then, Nezu. Do you think that's, good enough time for them? He goes, well, they did have, so much time for the, investigation. He was like, true. Alright. But then Nezu does say, and, can you tell me something about your other part of your power again? I'm still not convinced. As in, Izuku sighs and says, as you wish, Principal Nezu. My other part, the World Demon's power, allows me to create anything and get rid of it. As he then says, basically, as a staff appears, and then he says disintegrate staff, as then it disappears, and then he says, All Might, lift up your wound. As Bakugo just knows, everyone goes, what do you mean wound? As then, All Might says, Yo, Midoriya, I do not. All Might, you'll get it healed completely. He just lifts it up, everyone just sees it, as then he says, restore, restore everything, as it basically, his lungs and his organs that were basically destroyed are fully back, and he's, a little more buffer, a little more taller, and he says, I feel like I'm in my prime again. Thank you, Midoriya. Basically, as Midoriya says, it was no problem. As he looks at Bakugo, and he goes, do take care of that. It's very precious. As, Bakugo says, how are you? As then, all of a sudden, he says, stop time. As time does freeze beside, time, he says stop time, but it's, besides him, Ceres, All Might, and Bakugo. As then, everyone else freezes. He goes, All Might, I think you need to tell him. He goes, I did. I told him about the quirk. But I did not tell him about you. I thought it would hurt him more. Make him feel like he was second choice. As Bug goes, wait, you mean this? But that's how you got this quirk? That's how you got a quirk? He goes, yes. That one for all was the quirk I inherited from All Might to be the next successor. But because of my recent change, he tried to give me back the quirk, but my master Integra told him not to. Even I agreed, and alucard agreed to it too. Bakugo. He goes, so that means, as he puts his head down in shame, he goes, so that's why you kept hurting yourself because of this quirk. You're the ninth user. But the remnants of One for All were still inside of me when I nearly died. The World Demon used that power to bring me back to life when Alucard, the person who made me a vampire, the king of vampires actually, decided, to do a ritual on me to bring me back to life also. And then Bakugo just says, wow, that's kind of cool, terrifying, and freaky as all, deku. It was, of course. But hey, it worked. And now, Bakugo, you're not chosen for second best. Do not worry, he chose who needed was to be able to handle it. If you ever need help in controlling the quirk properly, I'm not the one to, come to, but I at least will help you understand it. We'll try to work on it together. So don't be afraid to ask me, Bakugo. As he goes, right. Deku, I only have one question to ask you. If you could take the quirk back, would you? As in, Izuku looks up to his ceiling and just sighs. And basically, All Might, Ceres, Bakugo don't even know. He goes, I can create quirks of my own. Easily. I'll show everyone it too. So he says, restart time. As then everyone, unfreezes. As then he goes, oh, yes, Nezu, I almost forgot to tell everyone this. As then he goes, what? What is it? He goes, my world demon. The power I have for that. I can create quirks. As everyone's in shock, even all my Ceres and Bakugo were also in shock. As then even basically, Aizawa says, I don't believe it. Prove it to me, problem child. Prove it to me. He goes, what quirk should I use? Or should I make? As Momo says, you can't create quirks. It's all about having the DNA to have one, and the non-extra joint in your toe. No, I think it's the extra. I think there's only one joint, or has to be only the extra joint in your. Freaking My Hero Academia logic. It's either one of those two. You have to have an extra joint, or you don't have it. Found the second one. And then he just, says in the World Demon voice, says, quirk creation. Copy quirk permanent. As then, boom, he basically says to Aizawa, he says, Mr. Aizawa, may I please touch you to copy your quirk? As he goes, alright, problem child. As in, Izuku touches, and for some reason, Izuku, didn't. He also, when he copied the quirk, a whole bunch of knowledge comes into it. I'm having it that way when he says copy quirk, but it's more like he also gains the knowledge from it. So yeah, from the quirk itself, on how it works and all that. Besides so that way he still has to study on it, how to use it properly and all, even get trained in it. But just to use it, he has to the quirk will come to him, copy, but all that information of the quirk will come inside his head. But yeah, still train and use it properly will be necessary. So then after only 5 seconds of touching, he lets go, and then he goes, now then, Bakugo, or Todoroki, anyone who uses the quirks that are not mutations, more like or have quirks that are permanent on them. So like explosions, they can make explosion, ice, or electricity, or even hardening quirks would be necessary to show this properly. So please, activate your quirks. Or, activate your quirk. As then Denki goes like, alright. He basically activates, his quirk. And then Izuku just takes off, like, doesn't have the glasses on. And he closes his eyes, and then boom. Like, his eyes are glowing red. Which then all of a sudden, like, Denki's electricity's out. Like, everyone looks at Deku. He goes like, simple. Easy. I can create anything. And I'm keeping this quirk as my own. Thank you for the help, Mr. Aizawa, as he walked away. Reasons for this. Reasons. And then Izuku does say, oh, I can even change it too. As then he says, to or add on to it. As he then says, copy quirk permanent add on memory download, downloads memory and activates only when he wants it to. As in the quirk he already copied, suddenly he gets all the memories of Aizawa. And then he looks at Aizawa. He takes off his hat, puts it at his chest, and bows to him. Puts his hat back on, and the glasses, and Aizawa goes like, did you... He just nods his head, keeps it silent, and walks away. Everyone's just terrified. Like, everyone is somewhat afraid. Ceres is just smiling. And then, she goes, Izuku. He goes, yeah, Ceres? She goes, that's simply amazing. How? How do you know you can do it? He goes like, it was kind of obvious. World magic. World magic. I can create anything or get rid of anything with a simple word and manipulate the world to my advantage. It's dangerous to have this power. I won't use it much, but if I want to add on more quirks to myself for certain situations, and then I can get rid of it, that'll be good. But the copy quirk is going to be my permanent one for now. She goes, why? He goes, simple. I like it. And so they're walking, and Nezu just goes, well, we're going to have some limitations on him. And Aizawa just goes, problem child became even more of a problem child. Ugh, I don't get paid enough for this. And he's just walking away. All Might says, I'm gonna go get myself checked out to see if my wound... I believe in Midoriya, but still, physical examination should be done. Everyone is just starting to talk about him, and Bakugo just smiles. He goes, who knew Zuko could be sometimes scary. As everyone looks at Bakugo in shock, and he goes, what? And they say, Kirishima says, you called Midoriya bro Zuko. He goes, yeah, that's his name. But you always called him Deku. He goes, that doesn't suit him no more. As he's just walking away. Everyone's just completely shocked. Todoroki doesn't care. But Kamihari says, do you think... Oh, no, Minetta's there. He goes, do you think if he knew I was trying to, try to save his life, he won't try to kill me? As Kamihari looks at him and goes like, wait, you're trying to save his life? He goes, why the heck do you think I was friends with... I kept on trying to get close to Ida. I mean, remember, guys, I did say he was not one of those people who hate Midoriya and believed in him. So I said that he, was joined in them, but it's like he only did that so that way he can get close to Ida to see if he was going to try to harm Izuku and, warn him ahead of time because he did have Izuku's number on his phone. So, but Ida was too smart. So, just want to clarify that. So then, he says, then why did he? He goes, because Ida was too smart. He saw right through me. I try my freaking best. He even told a visible girl about me. And let's just say I did not get a good freaking I did not it did not end well for me almost. And the commenter says, "Wait, did they try to kill you?" He goes, "Oh no. I just don't want to talk about it." And he just walks away. And commenter goes like, "Wow, who knew Invisible Girl and freaking Nito are just jerks?" Eh, they got what they deserve. So we're gonna go to, Izuku goes back into this class. Everyone gets back in. Ceres is, there. And, she's sitting right next to Izuku. And basically the whole entire day just goes from there. So, everyone's school, saw him. And saw, like, Ceres. And were just baffled by the whole entire thing. So, not many people want to mess with him. The Sports Central was announced that it was going to be this Friday, for them, as, they say they're going to train more. And, yeah. So, we're going to skip a couple of days, but I need to do something real quick. Alright, so, I said we're skipping a couple of days. Because we're going to save someone's life. And this what if this is going to happen early. So, it's the nighttime. As Alucard has, been mentoring Deku, on his abilities a little bit more. He even told him about the restrictions he has. That Alucard put on himself. So he, told Izuku to do that too. And he explained it that these are restrictions for your power, but when you release them, so release restraint 1, it burns out about I think there's release restraint 2, 1, then 0, and he basically explained release restraint 2 is basically he uses a little bit more of his power than release restraint 1. It's about 50%, and then release restraint 0 is about 100% along with the coffin he has. That's filled with, the people that you devour and turn to your loyal subjects, and would basically be like in the like the scene in the Hellsing Ultimate where like that all happened with all those people that was there, and they were like killing everyone basically. I was gonna say like soldiers for Alucard. Izuku understands this, but he reads on how Alucard basically wrote it all down and explaining it more in detail. And Izuku's reading and studying it, and so he was like, "So, I have to have the blood of the people to absorb, to then turn them into my loyal servants that would be a part of my army, basically." And Alucard goes, "Yes, exactly, Izuku. But be warned, you may encounter forces or people of a nature to make you look in multiple timelines or events that could happen, as I had that happen to me. Let me just say, that was one long therapy session I had to do. And he goes, I remember Alucard. I only got one question." He goes, "What?" He goes, "How was it talking to yourself all that time?" And he goes, "Very enlightening, but kind of weird." He goes, "I bet." Cerberus, walks in with a cup of, blood. She goes, "Here's your, daily food." He goes, "Thank you." And, basically it's a cup of blood with some well, he can eat regular food too, so like cookies and or a snack. Which alucard goes like, why are you still eating, regular food? He just says, well, I could still eat it, unlike, you never did. I mean, you only drink blood every so often. I mean, this ain't Twilight. And Alucard gets a little bit annoyed by that. He goes, we never talk about that. Because I'm making a joke with the whole entire freaking abridge that they did that. So yeah. I just don't like Twilight. I'm just gonna say that much. And I know they could eat regular food, but it's still like he just made a joke about it, which Alucard had no because he, in the bridge they made fun of it. So yeah, I did too. I don't say it's a bad series. I'm just not a fan of it, and I do respect the people who read it and watch the movies and stuff. I am gonna make some jokes. I do apologize if that offended you. Anyone, I don't say the whole entire thing's bad. I just didn't get into it. Even though I watched them, I wasn't into it until the final movie. That's it. And I know I'm gonna get some pitchforks and people saying you stink. Or something even worse. But, saying, I'm sorry to the people who like Twilight. I just made a joke about it. And yeah, I'm trying to make Deku like the alucard in the bridge. And, the alucard that we have is technically the alucard in the bridge, but a little bit more, he's a little bit more serious and not making the jokes. He stopped doing that after he found that Indira didn't have much time, so he tried to be serious and that caused her much problems. But he'll slowly get back to that, the bridge alucard. A little bit of it, but yeah. But anyways, so Izuku's basically just having some cake and eating it, and it's like around 7. And so what happens next is, after the whole entire lesson is done and he eats his dessert, he goes to his room. He's just sitting there. It's 7:45. He decides, it's a moonlit night and I want to go for a walk. So he's thinking about it, where he wants to go. He doesn't know the areas around this area, besides the areas that he does, but he says, it's an adventure, and I can have some fun. Maybe I can stick my teeth into something. Cyrus does walk in, and she goes, Izuku, I got some questions about the homework, about heroes, As he goes, alright. So, basically he helps her out for about until 8 o'clock, and he goes, Ceres, She looks over at him, and then he just says, you are feeling sleepy. She goes, I am feeling sleepy. He goes, and you want to take a nap. And I want to take a nap. And he goes, now, go into my bed and take a nap. And then, she gets up, and she goes underneath the covers, and he, gets his jacket, the hat, and the glasses on. And the pistols he always basically has on him at all time. Well, the pistol he has on all time, so. Yeah, he just says, sweet dreams, Ceres. And then he flicks the light off. And then he just starts walking away without anyone knowing. Well, he technically goes through the walls. And let's just say there's a certain point where he knows Integra always goes through. And then he just decides, alright. As he then like tilts all of the pictures in that area. And so, then he goes out, he gets out of the building and he leaves. So let's just say like a couple of hours pass. He went around town. He saw some good sights. He bought some stuff. He basically broke a few people's arms and legs. And just smiled about it. He was, they really worth killing. I mean, there's just a few muggers. There's plenty of them out there, but I mean, at least I put them into the hospital. Let's say, well, around this time period, somebody always tried to escape. But it was once a year, every random time, like different day, different time, different month. And this was just a day where this little girl tried to escape. And so, what happens is that, she basically runs into the street, passing people, and then she bumps into Deku. Right, hold on. And Deku looks down and he goes like, "Huh, hello, little one. Are you alright?" This girl looks up and she goes, I'm not. I need help. Please, he's gonna capture me again." And Izuku sees the bandages on her arms and legs, and her outfit's somewhat looks like a rag. He basically says to himself, "It looks like she's wearing a rag." Whoever treating her like this is a horrible person. He goes. Basically, he grabs Eri, which she tries to get his arm off of her, his hand off her, and then he picks her up. He holds her. He goes like, "Now, which direction is he in? I'll have a chat with this man." And she goes, "No, he'll kill you." As he just laughs, he was like, "My dear girl, no one can kill me." She goes, "What?" He goes, "Please, tell me the way." She just points to that alleyway where she came out, and he was like, "Alright, thank you." As he carries her with him, and then lead into the alleyway. As a few minutes pass, he hears someone coming. He puts Eri down. It's Eri. So, I'm just going to say it now. You all know. It's this little girl. She does have horn. So, I didn't want to say that, but, because Izuku didn't notice it. And then, when he puts her down, he sees a horn. He goes, "Oh. This must have something to do with your quirk, huh? Wow. Interesting." And so, what happens is, after basically him just looking at her, terrified, can tell he takes off the glasses and the hat. He puts it on her head. As she looks up, she sees these black horns coming out off of his head, and his eyes are red. He goes, we both have horns, but I have mine for a reason." And then all of a sudden she sees a tail. I did say he does get horns and a tail. So, as then she goes, "What the?" He goes, "I'm no ordinary person, my dear. Let me tell you something. I am the king of vampires. And I'm a demon, too. So don't worry. I'll beat him." As, Overhaul goes, "Eri, come back. Your mother's waiting for you." As Eri, terrified and clutching onto Izuku's arm. As he goes, "So, you are her father, I presume?" He goes, "Yes, that's my girl," Overhaul says. He goes, "Well, I'm sorry, but I'm taking her from you. And I only came here to tell you." Overhaul doesn't get angry. He was like, he's not getting angry. He was like, but on the outside, but on the inside, he's thinking, what the heck does this guy think he's talking to? And he goes, why? He goes, that's what overall asked. He goes, look at her. Different, not very good clothing. Basically, a bandages all over her. And then the guy just overall just says she's very klutzy. He goes, oh, no. These bandages, or should I say, cuts, aren't klutzy. They're more like she was cut open. And, well, something. As in, all of a sudden, he looks at, he kept on looking at Eri. And then when he looks at Overhaul, he goes, you will tell me everything. What you have done to this girl. And so Overhaul just says, I've been using her quirk. It can rewind people back to non-existing. And I've been cutting her to use her blood to make bullets that would cancel out the quirks of people to get rid of them. And he just goes on and on, because then he says, tell me about the process of her quirk. And everybody finally learns how to, do this. As in, he then says, now tell me what your quirk does. As in, he explains his own quirk about, he was thinking like alchemy, but it's way more potent than alchemy. It basically can reassemble something, disassemble something from that, and then it will basically have a little materials going around in a circle, and then he can reassemble that, fixing the part that's broken or cut off from, and just reattach it. As Izuku then just touches him. 5 seconds, he gets all the information on his quirk and his memories. As then he basically looks at Eri. He just says in a demonic voice, he goes, headphones. Soundproof headphones cancel out as they appear in midair. And then he basically puts them on her, and he just tells her, before he puts them on there, he says, don't look. She nods. He puts them on her ears. She turns around, and she just covers her face with the hat. As then he overhauls not out of the trance. He goes, what just? As then Izuku just says, release restraint number 1. As then all of a sudden multiple eyes are being shown on Izuku. The freaking dog is coming out of this the mist. And he goes what are you? As then he goes I'm your worst nightmare. The one thing that you're gonna fear, and you're gonna pay for what you've done to her. He goes, what? He goes, try to use your quirk as much as you want. As then all of a sudden, he activates the eyes, to cancel out his quirk. As then overall tries to touch the ground without the gloves on. And he's what's happening? Why can't I use my quirk? He was run as fast as you can. I'll rip you to shreds one piece at a time. As overhaul just starts to run, basically. As then, Izuku just sends out the dogs flying towards him. As then, the dog does, get at the leg. And he was oh, frick! As then, overall tries to, crawl, start, hopping away. As then, the next leg, Izuku just shoots off. As then, basically, he was overall goes freak, fuck, freak. As then he was I just have to get to the van. And then he doesn't see the van, it's too far away. He was oh, come on. And he goes, what's wrong? Use your quirk, fight me, try to kill me, beat me. And then he says, come give me a hug. And he goes, wait, really? And then the freaking dog just goes at him, and he screams out in pain, and he basically devours Overhaul. And after a few minutes of the dog just, devouring him, ripping him to shreds, Izuku basically just keeps on using his own quirk against him, reassemble the part that was broken up, and then disassembles the part that was basically eaten by the dog, and Breeze assembles it, and it's like multiple times of being ripped apart. And then like finally he ends him. Dog completely devours him. Then he basically goes back to normal, goes back over to Eri, takes the hat, puts it on his head, gets out the glasses, put it over his eyes, and I forgot to. And then basically he thinks, but I also have my Discord activated now. As in, he just touches the wall as it's not disassembling. He goes, I guess it works with my copy, permanent quirk. If it's as one as I want to. As then Izuku still has his hand on the wall, then he thinks, I want to disassemble this. As then he does, and then he reassembles it. He was like, perfect. I can activate it whenever I want to. As then he basically touches, he basically takes off the headphones off of Eri, and then he says, disintegrate headphones. Cancel out headphones. As then boom, they disintegrate. As Eri goes, you won! As he basically, it's blocking away with Overhaul. He just says, and the only thing that's there is his mask, and he just says, do not look at that. I did something that no child should see. No one of your age. You have been through too much. So basically, he picks up Eri, and he basically tells her to not look, as they walk away. Eri does not look. She can already tell by the smell in the air, blood, so she knows what he did. She just says, Did you kill him? He goes, that man was a monster that deserved death. And that's all. And Eri doesn't say nothing. So basically he asks, where do you want to go? Anything to eat? And this is around 9 o'clock. So they go out. They basically, he takes her to a restaurant. They eat. Everyone's wondering what happened or why is she in this clothing. Someone actually comes out, saying mother. She goes, "Is that how you treat her? Is that how you treat your daughter?" As he goes, "Oh, do I look like a father to you? I'm only 14 years old, man." And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I found her and I'm getting to adopt her." As Eri looks up and going what? No, he goes, "Eri, I'm adopting you. No questions asked. And do not worry. Remember, I have all of his memories. So I'll know. Alright?" She goes, "Okay, Mr. Izuku. For now, call me Mr. Izuku. Or Izuku. Or Midoriya. After tomorrow, though, call me father." And she goes, she nods. And the mother that who's still there, she goes, "You're 14 and you're going to adopt her?" He was like, "Of course." Basically, he says, "I'm not going to take her to an orphanage. They don't know how to handle her. Her quirk, precisely, I mean, not her in general. She's a good kid. I can already tell." And, he smiles, and basically, Izuku does not eat it. He only went to the restaurant for Eri. And she goes, "My apologies." He goes, No. I figured I was going to get these looks. So, Eri, after this, let's go to a clothing store. She goes, "Alright, Mr. Izuku." And so, after Eri eats, they go. It's around, it was 9:15. They get to the store, it's 9:25. And he picks out some clothing for Eri. And basically then, he does just that. He has her wear them, so that way they go out. He even has more clothes for her. He's just carrying. And I want to give Dobby a chance. I want to give Dobby a proper father. Just something. I like Dobby as a character, but I mean, what would happen if immortal vampire Izuku was a father to Dobby? Who wouldn't want to see that? Or I'll just change it, to where there's friends or something. I mean, Izuku would just tell him, "Hey, it's alright if you don't want to be a hero. I just want to give you a life that you deserve. So if you want to be a villain, that's fine." Hero Dabi. Yeah, we're having that. Just seeing how that goes. So yeah, so basically after that, Izuku sees, holding an Eri, sees this, person with scars on his, this pink scarring all over him. As he goes, "You, stop right there." As then, Dabi goes, "Huh? I'm surprised you noticed me." He was like, "Of course. Someone looking like you. How could I not? Maybe talk or something. I do not mind." It's like, 9:30. It's still like 9:30, like 2. As Dabi goes like, "Sure, what do you want to talk about?" And so they go to a just a basically I think there was like there should be like a food truck. So he gets like just say like this one just like for certain food that what you get in Japan, like I'm trying to think, they're like round, they're like on a stick, they're like a candy. I don't know, but they get one of those. It was then like he goes, "Do you have a family?" He goes, "No. Why? I mean, look at me. I'm 20 something years old." As Izuku goes, "You lie." As Davi goes like, "How do you?" He goes, as Izuku takes off the glasses, he goes, "Tell me everything about you." And then like this is like them like in a secluded area, like there's no one around. As Davi tells him his real name, Toyo Todoroki, what happened to him, the abusive father, the quirk malfunction, quirk when did something on his own, killed some people, his father sent him to somewhere, and like he basically became another accident that happened where they thought he was dead, but then he basically was still alive, and he basically did the whole time scar to himself and changed his hair color and such. And that he was only 17 years old, as Izuku says to himself, another soul that needs to be saved. I'll try. But it's up to him to take a chance. As then, like, he comes out of the mind trance, Dabi, as Dabi goes like, what did you? He goes like, "That's not my quirk, Dabi. I'm not gonna say your real name as you changed it. Not legally, though. But that's fine. I have a question to ask you. You probably are a villain, has killed people. I'm no better than you." He goes like, "So, what, you want to be a hero?" He goes like, "Oh, I was already enrolled in UA. But I'm the boy, Izuku Midoriya." As Dabi heard about the news, as then he was like, "But the picture looks," as he looks at Izuku, like, "different." And she goes, "Mr. Izuku, what are you gonna do now?" He was like, "To Mr. He basically tells it's Dabi. She goes, "Alright, Mr. Dabi." He goes, I'm gonna ask him for a proposal. That's all. Dabi, I want you to come live with me. But since you are 17, I do not care. I am only 14. But I will share with you my information on me. I am immortal. I will not die, and I can re-age you backwards if you want. To the point where when you're in your 20s, I can make you back into your teens. Alright? As Zavi just goes, "How?" And then he says, "Cash." In the demonic voice, he goes, "Cash, 1,000 yen." As then, like, a bill appears of 1,000 yen. As he goes, like, "Okay. why you're doing this for me? He goes like, Davi, you have a lot of potential. Your father, if he mistreated you, I would want to rip him to shreds, piece by piece, and make him eat something of his own. He was like, what? He was like, I'm not gonna say, since there's a child here. But let's just say it's something not pleasant. And then end his life in the most painful way possible. As he has a little grin on his face. And Davi can tell this guy's bloodthirsty. He was like, alright, I do need a place to stay. I am kind of hungry. I've been living on scraps for a couple of years. Trash and finding random places to sleep. Sure you want to adopt me? You know, as your kid? He was like, of course. I mean, I can get you enrolled into UA if you want to. Just have to ask Principal Nezu. But we'll be calling you Davi Midoriya then. Alright? And he nods. He goes, thanks. But my brother, he was like, oh, he's still there. He's in UA, but, well, it doesn't matter. Just please, give me a chance. And I know you don't like heroes very much, about you talking about it. So, believe in me, and only me. That's all I ask. As he sticks out his hand and says, it's your choice, you can walk away anytime. As Davi just says, can I still mess with my old man? He goes, of course. Hey, if you want to be a villain, it's up to you, Davi. And I'll still be proud of you. Which, Davi's eyes wide. He was like, what? But people, this society treats villains like a problem. I will not treat you like a problem. I will embrace you even if you are a villain. For that is what a father should do. Not neglect and abuse their child. As Davi contemplates on this for a couple of minutes, and he takes Izuku's hand afterwards. He goes, I'll give you a chance, but the moment you betray me or hurt me, I'll leave, and I'll try to kill you. As then Izuku proceeds to then rip off his own arm, throw it away, and then all of a sudden it regenerates on completely fine, which, you know, freaked out both Eri and Davi. He goes, I am the king of vampires. You can't harm me. And then he basically looks at Eri and says, my apologies, Eri. She goes, it's alright. It's fine. Did it hurt? He goes, no. It was a quick, well, little pinch only. He has a smile. As then he puts back on the glasses. He goes like, alright, let's go home then. As you know, they leave and Davi just saying, my dad's a vampire. And then all of a sudden, like he notices like Izuku has a tail. He goes like, why do you have a... And then he takes off the hat. He goes like, they forget to mention I'm also a demon. He puts back on the hat and the tail just goes like back, or like just going back around him. Basically, he just controlled it too. Which Davi was like, my dad's a demon. Alright, this is not the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. This is the most craziest thing that's ever happened to me. So, yeah. So, they're, like, walking. It's, like, a couple of hours, you know, getting back there, which Davi said, where you live. He goes, oh, there's a Hellsing residence nearby. Well, Hellsing residence. I walked all the way there. Well, all the way into town. From where we were, it didn't take that long. But since I have two people... I thought of taking transportation would be a lot more easier than I'm walking. And he goes, alright. So yeah, so they, walk. So basically they took a bus. Let's get back to, well, the Hellsing residence. As Integra walks into Izuku's room, she basically goes, Izuku, I am here to basically ask you on what you learned with Alucard, as then, like, he's not around. She basically turns off the lights, and then she sees only Sarah's in his bed. She goes, Sarah's Victoria, where is Izuku? And she, jumps out. He goes, huh? What, Izuku, where? Huh? And then she goes, oh, hi there, yeah, Integra, Master. And she goes, Victoria, where is Izuku? She goes, don't know. And then she goes, oh no. So, she runs all the way over to Alucard, and, he's talking to, Inko, and then she goes, Alucard, we have a problem. Izuku's gone. And Alucard smiles, and Inko goes, what? Where is he? And Alucard says, he probably went on he probably went on a walk. And she goes, oh, no, please don't pull out Alucard, Izuku. And it's 11 o'clock. It's getting to be almost 11. So when it hits, basically she's about to go out and she's about to call up Nezu, All Might, Aizawa, any pro heroes in the area of the city. Basically the area that's nearby part of the city, which is the shopping area and restaurant area that they live near. This is when Izuku opens up the door and he's holding an area and he's talking to Dabi. He says, so, yeah, pretty much. That's what happened to me. And this is how I came to be rich. He looks at Integra and goes, oh, hello there, Master. I have two, children here. And she goes, Izuku, what did you do? He was like, I went on a walk. He goes, why do you have two kids? Well, two. One kid and one teen. Adult. He goes, oh, no, he's a teen, 17 years old, about to be an adult soon. Well, technically he is an adult because of the age in Japan, but besides the point. He goes, okay. How's your walk? Just from a walk you did this? He was like, yes, I had a very enthusiastic walk. Sorry, I'm laughing weird, but she goes, did you kill anyone? Which Dabi looks at him. He was like, wait, you kill? He was like, I'm a vampire. Of course I would. He goes, did you? She asked. He goes, of course I did. As in, he basically, he goes, look at the young girl's arms. As in, this is when Integra notices the arms, and he says, well, also her legs, but... well, we have stuff covering it, so I did not want anyone to see that. Just the arms would have been fine with me. As everything holding on to it, she basically got close to Dabi. So, and Terry goes, who did that to? And he goes, someone named Overhaul Chizaki. Part of the Yakuza. A Yakuza branch that broke up the main one. As she goes, what did you? He goes, I ripped him to shreds, and I let the dogs devour him. Simple. As he walks past her, and Integra kind of is shivered by this. She was never afraid of Alucard, but the way Izuku was staring gave her a little chill. But it was a chill of excitement, and she says, you embrace that side of you, huh? He goes, I'm a vampire and a demon. I'm basically able to create and destroy anything I want. Of course, I'm gonna embrace the side of a monster. That's the only way you get to survive in this world sometimes. She goes, alright. So, why do you have the two kids with you? He was like, he's only 14. And he says, legally, yes, I'm only 14. But in retrospect, I'm immortal. I can have kids at any age. Which Integra says that's true. Inko comes over and Alucard just walking over. And the butler says, Master Izuku, you came. Basically, you came home. He was like, hello, Walter. And he goes, basically, Inko goes, where'd you get the girl? The little girl. And basically, Alucard just says, I see you had a very enthusiastic walk. He goes, yes, very enthusiastic. And Ceres comes over. She goes, Izuku, where did you... What? He goes, I'm adopting this girl and this boy. Everyone just looks at him, and Integra goes, I'm not stopping him. And Izuku goes, but Izuku, you're only in high school. He was like, and this girl is basically being cut open. Her basically arms are being cut for her blood and be disassembled and reassembled for them to heal. And basically, the guy's dead that did that. And I am not letting this precious daughter of mine get hurt ever again. And whoever does, I will freaking hurt them so badly that they wish they were dead. And as basically he stretches out his arm and grabs Dobby, pulls over himself, he goes, that is established with my son. And it's basically Inku goes, alright, how old is he? He goes, 17. The boots make him look taller. She goes, alright. Hero villain. He basically says, I'm technically a villain, but I'll give it a shot being a hero because of dear old Zuko. He goes, Dad. He goes, what? You get to call me Dad. Right, this moment. He goes, Dad, then? Basically. And basically says, wait, who's gonna be the mom? As then he just looks at her, and she goes, wait, what? Me? He goes, of course. I mean, I like you. She goes, wait, you're just telling me about, like, should this be developed? He goes, I have alucard memory. I know you already a lot. So, I don't see no point. And also, we're both immortal. And basically, he's like walking towards her, and he goes, so, I don't see no point in denying it that I want to be with you. And then she goes, so she's gonna be my mommy? Harry just says that, and he goes, of course she would. As then Sarah goes like, give me one good reason why. And then she looks at Harry, like, and she goes, I can't deny that cute face of hers. And then she looks at Dobby, and she goes, what's your problem? As then he goes, abused, number 2 hero, Endeavor, which that caught everyone off guard. He was like, dead son, well, technically, he's pronounced dead. Toya Todoroki's dead. This is Dobby, but, real name Toya. We're calling him Dobby. I'm respecting my son's wishes. As he just leaving, he goes, and Integra goes like, where are you going? He goes like, taking out a room for them. As he goes, wait, Dad, I'm coming with. And Dobby just runs. As, well, Nezu then, like, calls up Integra. She sees on her phone. And then as he says, I got a text from Izuku. This is when she answers it. She goes, I got a text from Izuku saying he needs 2 papers of adoption and 1 student's application. Can you please tell me that? As she explained the situation. And he goes, alright, I'll be on my way. She goes, what? I'm coming over. I'm going to see this little one. And, the boy. As, they go. But basically, she hangs up. A few minutes, well, or like a few minutes later, it's like 45 minutes, Nezu comes over, and, well, he told Eri that this is the only one time she's ever staying up late, because she needs her sleep, and, sleep is good for her, because of Nezu. She was, alright. And he was, what about me? He was like, oh, your curfew is, well, 11, it's 12 on staying up. I'll be in late only 10. Because I'm 17. He was like, I do not care. You were abused most of your childhood. Alright. Understand, Dad. So basically, Nezu has adoption papers. And, well, he even has someone with him. And, well, Nezu, comes into the house. He says, hello there, Integra, Alucard. And Alucard, bows at him. He goes, hello there, Nezu. It's a pleasure to see you again. And he goes, alright, where are they? As he basically, Integra says, follow me. And they go over into the living room. And Ceres and Inko are there, playing with, talking to Eri and Dobby. And basically, Izuku does, tell Dobby, may I ask him, he basically says, can I copy your quirk? He goes, wait, are you sure it's kind of dangerous? He goes like, son, I know what I'm doing. Besides, I I want to try to figure out a way how to help you. Alright? He goes, alright, fine. So 5 seconds later, he understands everything about the quirk and his memories as a tear starts rolling down Izuku's face, but it's only blood. Which everyone's kind of shocked as he was. you saw. You saw, basically, Dabi says. He goes. And then he wipes it away and says, yes. That will never happen to you here. As Nezu does come over, and he basically says, well, he goes over to the chair and goes, so these are the 2 children. He basically explains Dabi's real age. He's 17. He's gonna be, I don't know his real age, so I'm just saying he's 17 years old. Yeah, I just want to point out. And, Nezu goes, alright, he'll only be 1 year. He goes like, I can reverse his age back to 17 anytime I want to. And just, I did that to Integra if you did not notice. He was like, okay, understandable. And this is Eri? Oh my god, what happened to her? As he then says, let me explain. As he is saying about overall, and that he killed him. But what he did to Eri. Which Nezu says, but you're trying to move. He goes, Nezu, I'm a vampire. I'm the king of vampires. Do you think I will allow someone like him to even exist in this world any longer? And also, he could destroy society of quirks easily with that serum that he's making. I already know the location of that area of it. I can easily go there and destroy it. Or I can give it to the information of the cops. Basically the police force. As Nezu and the person look at Izuku as he's being dead serious. And Nezu agrees because, well, if he's alucard, then he knows about the blood that he basically can see through. The blood people that he can see through the memories of. And so, he basically says, alright. I'm not trying to make you angry, Izuku. It's just know this, that I know you are going to be bloodthirsty and act like a monster most of the time. But please, just don't overdo it. He says if I ever need to, I would. As the person who's, part of the adoption agency be like, just say, are you sure he should be raising these 2? As Nezu says, he's the best person for them. Plus, it looks like the area already likes her. I mean, never likes her, likes him, and the people in here. And Dabi looks like hasn't been relaxed in years. Hold on, everyone. Alright, sorry. Anyways, so the person says, alright, I understand. And so they ask Eri about does she like to be with Izuku? She goes, he's really nice. And then the person asks Dabi, even though you are 17, do you want to be with him? He goes like, he's willing to give me a chance, and he's willing to accept me even if I am a villain. Yeah. And so Nezu just tells him just to sign here, here, and here, and they ask, what names will you take? The Helsing name, or, well, the Midoriya name? And, well, let's just say Alucard and Integra are technically gonna be together, so, they're gonna have a kid somewhere along the lines. But they do consider Inko and Midoriya part of the, Helsing family. So, it's technically, they say, basically Inko just says, well, we do technically have the Helsing name. And, oh yeah, I even forgot Ceres is technically Ceres Victoria Helsing. So it's like Izuku Midoriya Helsing, Inko Midoriya Helsing. And then Izuku just says, alright, Dabi Midoriya Helsing and Eri Midoriya Helsing. As, that's what they have their names now. And, but they do ask, though, about Dabi, who was his parents before, as Izuku says we will not talk about that. It will ruin the family of them, and, hell, let's just say a lot of abuse, quirk malfunctioned, it happened, he killed some people, then went to a hero training facility that would make him be using his quirk way too much, as then the accident happened to get his burns to looks like it caused his death, him surviving miraculously, and yeah, him becoming this at the age of only 13. So he's been out there in the world for a couple of years now. So yeah, let's not talk about his father now. As Nezu and this person, this adoption person who's, there to help with it, understands. And so, Nezu finally asks, so, is Dobby going to be in UA? He goes, do you, son? And he goes, give it a shot, Dad. Alright? Heroes aren't always true, but you're trying to be a hero and you're willing to kill to protect people. And, well, you're giving me a chance. Why not? Yeah, I'll come to UA, but I'm not wearing the stupid uniforms. As he goes, well, you want to wear the jacket and the tie, that's it. I'm wearing my boots still. Alright. He goes, alright. Nezzy says, well then, here's your uniform, and just sign this, and just do this little test for me, and then we'll go from there. As Dobby, does it, a few minutes later, he gives it back to Nezu as, well, Nezu checks it, and all the questions are right, and he goes, it's kind of easy, really. So, Dobby's really smart, I believe. So, yeah. As Izuku, smiles, he was like, now, Nezu, I will be late to school tomorrow. And the next day, and Dobby, you will not be participating in the sports festival since it will only be your second day of school. Understand? He goes, yeah. Don't be strict with me. He was like, oh, I will not be strict. I'll just ask you to do something. If you don't do it, that's fine. Because, okay. But with Eri, he says, I am being strict because she is a little girl and she needs the guidance. As then Integra says, don't worry, I'll be strict for both of them. Even Cyrus says that, which Izuku and Dobby feel like they're gonna die if they piss them off. And Nico just smiling. She goes, I have 2 grandkids already. I feel happy. So, yeah. So after that, he basically tucks in Eri. He basically talks to Dobby about his scarring, if he wants them or not. And that he can technically change his appearance if he wants to. But it's all up to him. He basically says, I want to keep the scars as a reminder. And the hair, as when he says, your hair is what color? White? He goes, yeah. He goes, and then he says, hair color permanent black. As, his hair is now black. He goes, thanks. The weird voice thing. It really freaks me out a little bit. He basically, chuckles. Deku, He goes, I'm sorry, but that's how it works. He goes, it's cool. It just freaks me out to know that you're a demon, too. Man. What can you also do? Is then he summons out the spear. He goes, this. And I can summon out a sword, and I have my pistol, so, yeah. As he goes, well, great. And so, he basically hugs Dobby and tells him goodnight, and so Izuku leaves. Dobby falls asleep for the first time in a while in peace, without being, the first time ever in peace, without being stressed or worried or always on guard. So yeah, so basically, Izuku stays up. He doesn't really sleep. He can sleep, but he just chooses not to. Sarah just says, "Are you okay?" As she sees Izuku just crying, like legit, like really crying, and when he basically copied Dabi's quirk and saw the memories of it and know what the limitations are and what he can do with it, he was able to feel all of his pain too. And he's been holding it back as Sarah runs over to him and hugs him, and she asks what's wrong, as he just says, "Dabi, he went through so much," as she just asks him to tell him, and so he does. Unknowns to him, Brew is sobbing, and telling Ceres as she listened. Alucard heard this, and Integra. They heard about Endeavor, what he did, and what happened, and that it is tragic for him. He could have been such a good person, but because of Endeavor, they got mad. And so, what happens? After that, he basically just says, "I want to try to give him the best life I can to show him that there are some good people out there." So, Integra and Alucard smile at this. But then Sarah says, "By being a bloodthirsty monster that would basically become the enemy of the world if needed for your children now." As he says yes. Which Alucard smiles and Integra just nods her head and like, "You're both the same." As he goes, "What? It works. I mean, besides, at least he ain't like some bee that's gonna freaking kill himself for being afraid and doesn't want to die by my hands." And she goes, "He never changed." He goes like, "Nope." Besides, you like me this way. She says her face would blush. She goes, "True." And so they walk away. So yeah, so Ceres and Izuku basically chat, but then Ceres and him drift off into sleep while she's holding him. So yeah, they wake. Inko wakes them. Inko is about to. She opens the door and says, "Is it cool?" And she sees Ceres and Inko sees Ceres and Deku just sleeping, and she goes, "Oh my god, that's just the cutest thing." She just takes a picture as they both wake up and goes, "What time is it?" She goes, "It's 6 o'clock," and she goes, "Oh." And then he looks over and sees Ceres holding him and goes like, "I'm not gonna get used to this. I'm not gonna get used to this." He basically says, "Ceres, wake up, dear." She goes, "Huh?" And she realizes she sees Izuku and she's holding on to Izuku still. She goes, "I'm so sorry." He goes, "It's fine." So basically, Dabi says, "Oh, morning, Dad." And then Eric goes, "Dad, Mom." And she runs over and hugs them as he goes, "Hey there. Morning, Eric, Dabi." She goes, "Dad, do you think you can tell me how to use my quirk properly?" He goes, "Alright. I wonder." As an alucard says, "You could give her some of your blood to transfer it. Or you could just find someone with a quirk that allows them to transfer memory. I could look into that if you want." He goes, "Thank you, alucard." He goes, "No problem. Also, I looked into the Todoroki family." As Dabi looks at him, he goes like, "Why?" He goes, "Dabi, I know who you are. And I'm not going to refer you to your name. The old one, I mean. You are Dabi. You technically are a part of the family. But I want to know. I just want to ask a question. Would you like to see your biological mom? Or at least just know where she is?" Because I do know where she is, but I haven't gone to see her because his Alucard just puts his hand on his shoulder and goes like, "I understand. But you can go see her with Izuku when you're ready. Alright?" He nods. "Yes, thanks. He says, "Call me Grandpa." And then he just walks away as Davi just says, "Is everyone in this house weird or crazy?" As Deku says, a little bit. By the way, there is a bunker that's gonna be really safe for you and anyone in this house because I have a feeling there's gonna be an attack, and I'm going to need a 75-inch plasma screen TV with Netflix. As then freaking Intera goes heard that, she goes, "Do you think it's gonna get destroyed too? So that way you could just create that same scene what happened with Alucard." He goes, "Yes." Whatever. It's gonna be a cheap 75 screen, 75 plasma screen TV. He goes, "That's fine." Just walk away as Inko just laughs along with Davi. The same thing with Ceres. Eri just kind of chuckles and says, hey, Deku just smile. So, Deku just says, "All right, everyone, let's go eat and then, go shopping for your guys' clothing." And so, they eat and they go out. They bought Eri clothing and they bought Davi some clothing and accessories. Izuku gets some piercings. And, well, let's just say, he basically just says, "Do you think a tattoo would look good on me?" Which Inko looks at him and goes like, "No tattoo, because I'm immortal. It'll probably heal too, so it won't be there." As, Alucard says, "It'll be there. It won't heal. But you can, unless you want it to." So Inko goes, "Wait, so he can get the tattoo removed on his own?" "Yes." He goes, "Alright, just nothing that's going to be too extreme," he says. She goes, "Yes." He goes, "Alright." So, he goes into the tattoo parlor and he shows his tattoo guy that says, "Hey, what type of tattoo you want?" He goes, "Something simple, like a skeleton head or basically some type of weird thing." He doesn't know. He just came in. He goes, "This house, do you ask for age?" He goes, "No. We get more money when we don't. It's not legal, but we don't care." He goes, "Oh, perfect." And so, says, "God bless, I'm gonna look through." So, yeah, so Izuku basically looks through it, as then he basically sees a dragon tattoo. No, I'm just kidding. He sees a bat tattoo. And he just thinks, the bat tattoo, has it's like a chain along with has the bat has a chain around it. Basically, it's a necklace looking but then it's around something. So basically, it's skeleton head, necklace, bat tattoo. Looks like also has some things on the skeleton head. So yeah, he was like, "That one." He goes, "You sure about that?" He was like, "Yeah, how much?" He goes, 2,500 yen. And Zuko just pulls out his wallet, just hands him the money. He goes, "Alright." So he goes, "What can you do?" He was like, this will be done quick." But, "You sure?" He goes, "Yeah." So basically, he gets the outline of it. Inko, Alucard, Dabi, Eri, and Integra. They're just having a family outing along with Walter. Basically, they're one of the butlers. So basically, they just enter and says, "I'll be with you guys in a minute." And Alucard says, "No, we're with him. We're just wanting to see how he's doing." He says, "Well, I got the outline of it, and this is just a black and white tattoo, right?" He goes, "I know." So then, basically, he then just starts to he just starts to, well, the Vaikage did this in the law, in what if with the, law from One Piece. I cannot say the whole entire name, right? So basically, I'm just saying it's law. Basically, he's the one who's the doctor who basically saves Luffy, heals him. During after he basically passed out from the shock of losing Ace. If you guys don't know that, sorry about the spoiler, but yeah. So he basically had like someone like just manipulate the tattoo, the ink with the tattoo, basically. He basically manipulated the ink and was able to put on a Zuku. So it was like done, and he even did like the whole entire no like strict like age. He didn't ask for age. They give you the tattoos. So yeah, so watch the Vakage. I will basically basically tell you the name because I just used his idea. So I'm giving him credit for that. Sorry, just using that idea. Thought it would be pretty good, for it. So yeah. And also, it's the world of My Hero Academia. Of course, there's somebody be with that some type of creation, like some type of creative tattoo, like able to do that. So yeah, so he just added that into it. Sorry about that. But I will leave his name in the description. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah. So basically, he does it. He basically has the ink go all over Izuku, as then he basically then starts working on the tattoo. It doesn't like come out fully because he has to do the work on it. He just like filled it all in and he's just doing all the work. Then he can even like manipulate the tattoo while the ink is still on him to basically make it lighter or darker shades on it. But he uses, the they don't use like what they do in real life with the ink pen. Basically like how they put it on. He basically just uses like basically not a pencil, but it's more like how he has his own equipment that's specially made for him to basically manipulate the tattoo and with his quirk. So yeah, so basically he's making lines whatever he needs to, details into it and all that. And after it's all done, he says, "All right, look in the mirror." As he basically noticed that the bat did had some like red eyes, and he goes like, "Huh, I didn't know about that." He was like, "It's on his arm." He goes, "Yeah, how's it?" He goes, "I like it. I'll come back here if I want another one." Basically, another tattoo. So he was like, "Cool, thanks, kid. See ya." So alucard so can I see? As then he basically sees, and he does ask, "What was this supposed to represent?" And he goes like, "Dracula dead," which Alucard and Deku laugh at this, which the guy doesn't understand why. And he goes, really? He was like, "Yeah, I drew that when I was after watching an old movie of Dracula. Most of the stuff I drew, so when I was in high school. So yeah, sorry if that offended you guys." He says. He goes, "No, no, no, it doesn't." They just walk away. They walk out. He puts the jacket back on, and yeah. And then Izuku basically tells the group that we're gonna go to UA, and they say, "All right." Eri hugs him bye. Dabi hugs Eri bye. She says bye, big brother, and Dabi heart strains her tug. He was like, "I'm my big brother again." He says to himself as Inko sees this, and he basically she hugs him, kisses him on the cheek, says, "Do good in school and don't get into any fights." And Sarah's just looking at him and goes like, "If you get into a fight, I'm gonna help you out." And she goes, "Wait, you're coming too?" He goes like, "She's supposed to keep me aligned, Dabi." He was like, "Okay." Vampire shoes? He goes, "Yes." He goes, "Alright." So, Alucard and Integra saying, "We're coming with and wish you good luck." And they say, "Oh, really?" As basically Walter says, "Well, I'll come with." He goes, "Oh my god, this is embarrassing." He was like, "Part of the family, this is gonna happen." He goes, "I regret this, I regret this, I regret this." And then he looks back and goes like, "I don't regret this." So yeah, so they get to UA and he goes, "Alright, here we are." Like, cool. Yeah, lucky we have another seat open. Because the two students are here, so there's no seat open. I mean, well, technically there should be another one because of Minetto. He should be put in somewhere else. As then, like, he sees Minetto walking away from school. He goes, out. He goes, "Minetto, He goes, "I quit UA." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Invisible Girl said some stuff about me and it got me thinking, and well, I don't really deserve to be in UA. Truthfully, as he goes, oh, I'm sorry to hear that about that. And then he was like, oh, no, that's fine. It's fine, Izuku. Sorry I couldn't, try to help you out. I was trying to get some information on Ida to see if they're gonna hurt you, and I failed. Sorry about that, man. Izuku can tell he's being serious along with Alucard and Integra. W can too. He goes like, and then he kneels down. He puts a hand on Minetta's shoulder and goes like, "Whatever she said about to you, she was wrong. You deserve to be in UA, but it's your choice. Minetta, I am truly sorry. Let's meet up sometime. All right?" He nods. He goes like, "I hear Shinso's gonna be taking my place from, the academic course." Nezu did offer me to go there because of my intelligence. I'm pretty smart, but I tell him I need to work on myself. But he does say they allow academic homeschool, and that's what I'm doing now. Which Izuku smiles. He goes like, "You said you quit hero course, not you entirely. I meant sorry." He goes, No. I'm just glad you're still gonna be in school. We'll meet up. Until then, until we meet up, basically see how you're doing in homeschool. Good luck." He goes, "Thanks, man. See ya." Oh, and Ceres. He goes, "Sorry to get to know you. You look like, give me a nice person, but also very strong and dangerous." Hold on, everyone. I thought my dad was going to say something. He just came out, but, Ceres just goes, "And you look like a grape, pervert, idiot, jerk. I get all those. See ya." He just walks away as Dabi goes like, "I can already tell he's a pretty good person, just has problems." Midoriya does say, well, Izuku does say, "You're right on that, but he is a good person." So they walk into UA. They go to class 1A. As always says, "Hello everyone, this is Dabi, Midoriya, Helsing. Wish him luck, wish him the best of luck in this class," and, well, yeah. As then everyone was going like, "Wait, what?" As Izuku just says, "I adopted him and a little girl last night. And if anyone you try to basically bully him or do anything bad to him, I will rip off your arms, use them to hit you, and then show you the worst painful death ever." As Maki goes like, "You are definitely not Deku no more. You are freaking overprotective father mode." And then like as always says, "Wait, you have a kid?" Like two. What's another one? A little girl. Has then all of a sudden like fatherly dad Zawa instinct comes on. He goes like, "Where is she?" He goes like, "Mr. Zawa." You go like, "Oh, sorry, it's just I overprotective of kids." He was like, "Oh, so you have a kid?" He was like, "Yeah." Let's not talk about that. Hold on. And so the lesson happens, and as I tells them about basically the sports festival, but then Izuku does tell him that Dabi's not gonna be a part of it. He understands, and like Momo does say, "Why is he not wearing the uniform?" As he's just wearing the jacket and the tie. As then Izuku says, "Because he can." Deal with it, Yaoyorozu. Or do we have to do I have to humiliate you by saying everything wrong with your quirk and your outfit? And basically most of like your personality, even though it's very nice and very kind, you can be motherly, and that is somewhat of a okay side. I would say more like an adorable side, but not to me. Probably to someone else. Well, as she, her face goes red, and he goes like, "Oh, don't worry." I mean, any guy could probably fall for someone like you, but I ain't no ordinary guy. And then he does look at Ceres, which she was angry, and now her face is going red. As Dabi goes like, and thinks to himself, "My dad's smooth, a little." wow. And so, like, Mina does say, like, so, Dabi, what was your life like before? As in all of a sudden she feels uneasiness as Deku and Ceres are just looking at her with death glare as Dabi holds out his hand as, the tension in the air stops. As Izuku and Ceres apologize to her, and Dabi just says, it's a difficult topic to talk about, but I feel like I'll discuss it with you guys when I get to know you. And then Deku just says, if he becomes a villain, it's his choice, and I do not judge him for it. I will accept him. As everyone looks at him, and as I was just going okay, if he become a villain. I mean, Dabi had to make some difficult choices, which Nezu understands. And, which this is him to try to redeem himself. As Bakugo says, so you took him in, 17-year-old, gave him a chance, he took it, and you're treating him like a son. He goes, yes. He goes, yeah, you are legit not the same Deku. So yeah, so then, after that, Nezu did, Dabi did tell him about what he has done. And Nezu accepted, saying, alright, this is, your choice to be here. Try to improve yourself and become a better person. I accept that. But you are not participating in the sports festival, like we said. So, alright. Anyways, you two can go home and rest. Izuku, don't, gain more quirks or create more quirks. We're gonna have to nerf you. He was like, understandable. So he says, no, as Deku says, I already know, no guns, no world demon magic, no summoned out dogs or, creatures or anything else, and no using mind control or regeneration if I lose an arm. He goes, no, you can do that. Just all the other things. He goes alright, super strength and super speed are good, right? He goes, it's alright. That's technically not really a nerf, but you're probably gonna come up with some weights on me. He goes, oh yes, we are. You need some heavy weights. And he was alright. So yeah. So they go back. Everyone, basically, it was the end of the day when this happened. Everyone was looking at Dabi, but when he was hanging around with Zuko, no one stared at him. Just he was always around, but people were just questioning about Dabi, saying he looks like a villain. Dabi didn't care. He showed them his quirk. Todoroki was fire. Basically endeavor. I would not use my father's side. All that freaking crud. And then he basically asked Dabi, are you going to be in the... As then Dabi says, no. Dad said I can't. As then he looks at Izuku yes, why can he not be in the sports cycle? It's only his second day. He has to still learn and, get teach by people. But he says, but everyone else is going to be joining. He was oh, don't worry. If you're ever wondering about that whole entire fire thing, the next Zuko has his hand on fire. Then face me. Everyone's in shock. As that was part of it. As he did tell Nezu also, I forgot to mention during that little talk. So yeah. Anyways, that's what I was saying though. Then the day they leave, basically go back home. Nothing happens. Next day, sports festival. Same thing happens in canon. Well, but Shinso's there, and just academics do come over to root for him, and well, that's it. Everyone, Class 1B does try to do exactly the same thing. Bakugo goes out there and says, move it extras. And then Izuku goes, no, it's like this. And then Monoma comes over and goes well, look at this. 2 Class 1A students and goes, oh my god, look at it. It's a attention-seeker, baby-faced man who thinks he can do everything he wants because of his quirk. Oh my dear god. I feel sorry for your mother. And everyone just goes what the? Is he insulting? Momo says, are you insulting me? He goes oh crap, Sherlock. I didn't know we were playing 2020 questions. I would have gone bored of seeing how many times you can lose to me. As Buck was kind of laughing as Dabi just oh my god. And he goes, how dare you? I was like, no, how dare you walk out that hair of yours? I mean, come on. Dude, we're not being all proper, trying to look like we're better than everyone. You just like to be above everyone. And that's not right. I mean, you could be above people, but that just means you're just trying to be a D. And, well, I don't think it's good for you, man. You should try to, be a little bit lower to people's standards. As people are just starting to laugh, he was like, why are you mocking me? He was like, duh, you came here trying to intimidate us. It's then I use that intimidation against you by also breaking your little spirits. Or your will. Which I doubt you even have that much willpower. Because you look like you're about to cry like a baby on a Tuesday. Who broke his favorite toy. And then he goes, well, that's enough of me humiliating you in front of your peers and friends. Bye. And then he just suddenly turns into a swarm of bats and just fly off. And then Navi just goes, Dad, thank you. You made my day. And you also left me behind, you freaking jerk. And he goes, wait for me, Dad. And then Dolly grabs his stuff and just starts running. He goes, move it, extras. As Deku's, not Deku, as Baku goes like, I like this kid. I like this guy. And yeah, everyone's like going, Dad? So yeah, so basically, Dabi was participating in school, but in this new way, in the basic sports festival. So yeah, so everyone got changed. Dabi was his, Izuku look. He goes over to Batu where the whole entire Helsing mansion is like, watching him or part of the sports festival, and basically Inko and Eri say, you can win Izuku, basically, and all that, as, Izuku, does way by. Sarah is participating too, so it's like, hey, they even say, Eri says, you can win, Mom, you can win, Mom, and, then, they just start rooting, basically. Everyone's, looking at it as Davi says, I am glad I'm not in this. Sarah's a little bit embarrassed. Deku saying, it's natural. And then, the whole entire thing happens, but Deku goes up and, well, he just says, and his speech is like, I do not want to be rude, so I will give you some encouraging words. Try to win as much as possible, dig deep, and try to be the humans that you are. He's not wearing the hat, so they see the horns. He even has the tail out, which everyone's questioning it all this time. I forgot to mention that. As he just says, because I will win. Simple fact. I am being nerfed. I'm only allowed to use 3 of my abilities. And, well, let's just say, you will never win against me. So, dig deep. Bring out everything. Try your hardest. Do everything your power can. And don't be afraid of losing. We're all going to lose in something in life. It all depends on what you learn from it. So, I wish you all good luck. And do your best. People clap. 50-50. But, everyone in class 1A just says, he's not lying, though. Which class 1B is like, nah, he has to be. They just shake their heads and no, he's not. He can destroy a whole bunch of robots plus a 0-pointer in a matter of seconds. And Monoma just thinking, that can't be true. They're just saying to try to intimidate us. So, yeah. So this, it's the race. Was the slap. And that's why I'm going to leave it off. I made this. Oh my freaking god. I did not mean to, everyone. I am sorry. I was getting too into this. My apologies. But, yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know how, if you guys would like to see the what is that I said in the beginning, like Naruto or Deku, Devil Fruit. Besides, the Gum Fruit. Deku having being a Power Ranger, but it's gonna be the Magna Defender. But but it's because it's like people did like a lot of the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, but I still may put them in there. And some other stuff are gonna be technically secrets. But hey, yeah. So you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye, everyone.